following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers, this is the TFangy coming to you with what will hopefully be a successful review. And today we're going to be taking a look at an extremely rare and hard to find Transformers action figure, and it is the Takara Tomy exclusive Transformers Generation Selects Star Convoy action figure. Now the main reason I got this figure, it's a Transformers figure I've secretly been wanting to add to my collection for several years now, but but I wasn't able to find Star Convoy at a decent price, and I finally found him going for a decent price on eBay. The main reason I got this figure was because I was originally going to get the Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime action figure, but when I went to buy it, it sold out, and I still haven't been able to find it for a decent enough price again. So I looked around at other Optimus Prime action figures that I did not have in my collection, and Star Convoy, I found him going for a decent price. So for those of you who don't know who Star Convoy is, he is basically Generation 1 Optimus Prime having been died and brought back to life one last time in the Generation 1 storyline. And he was rebuilt as the leader of a trio of Autobots who were known as the Battle Stars. The other members of the Autobot Battle Stars included Sky, Gary, and Grandis. By the time Star Convoy was released in 1991, the Generation 1 cartoon had ended in Japan, so the story of Star Convoy was told on the pages of a manga comic that was packaged on the back of TV guides that were being released in Japan in 1991. And it basically told the sum of the story. What happened is Optimus Prime and Galvatron were both brought back to life. Optimus Prime was upgraded into Star Convoy, and Galvatron was upgraded into Super Megatron, and they had one last battle to decide who would be victorious in the Transformers War, and I believe Star Convoy did emerge victorious. He was able to defeat Super Megatron with the help of his teammates Grandis and Sky Gary, and that's pretty much who Star Convoy is. Generation 1 the original Generation 1 Star Convoy action figure, which is currently one of only 2 action figures of Star Convoy that exist, the second being this one, the Generation Selects figure right here. The Generation 1 version of Star Convoy was an entirely brand new mold, but Generation Selects Star Convoy, he is in fact a repaint and a retool of the 2018 Power of the Primes Leader Class Optimus Prime action figure. So here's a size comparison of the two side by side with each other, so you can see both the similarities and the differences. I apologize for grabbing them where I am, but that's the best place to get a hold of these guys. So yeah, some of the similarities are the overall paint job of the upper body and the robot mode being red, and then the legs, of course, being blue. But the similarities are outweighed by the differences. Star Convoy, he has a brand new head sculpt, and he also has a newly sculpted chest, which is designed to mimic his Generation 1 action figure. And the piece on his chest is gold chrome, and the top of his helmet is silver chrome. There's no chrome parts on Power of the Primes Optimus Prime. Brand new eggs below the knees, or at least brand new shins. The backs of the legs are the same, the feet are the same, the thighs are the same pelvis. I believe it's the same exact lower arms on both figures, and I believe they're even done in the same gray plastic. The main difference is that there's slightly more red on Star Convoy than there is on Optimus Prime. For instance, here the actual joint in the shoulder, it's red on Star Convoy and it's gray on Optimus Prime. So Power of the Primes Optimus Prime does have a lot more gray parts than Star Convoy does. And yes, some people have said that the Power of the Primes Optimus Prime action figure, it basically rivals Masterpiece Optimus Prime in terms of size. So fans have joked in the past that this figure is basically a mass retail or a poor man's Masterpiece Optimus Prime action figure. That's the way it goes there. And Star Convoy here, he is pretty impressive looking for being a retool and repaint of Power of the Primes Optimus Prime. He's got the shoulder cannons here, which is one part of the new molding. The cannons themselves move up and down, and the turrets can rotate left and right. Right, the head is on a ball joint, so Star Convoy can look left and right 360 degrees. He can look up and down just a tiny bit. A pretty standard articulation for a leader class figure. The arms can rotate 360 degrees forwards and backwards at the shoulder. Arms can go up this far at the shoulder. Swivel joints in the bicep. 90-degree bend in the elbows. No wrist articulation since the hands are permanently sculpted in the exact same spot. No waist articulation due to the gimmick of carried over from the Power of the Primes line of having a smaller robot formed by the tractor cab section of the alt mode. Ratchet joints in the hips, so legs can go forward that far, they can go back that far, they can go out this far. Swivel joint in the thigh, hinge joint in the knees. Knees at the ankle, the feet can go down that far and they can go up that far, and you do have ankle rockers, so you can get this figure into some pretty decent poses for the type of articulation that the figure had, or the mold had when it was used for Power of the Primes Optimus Prime. And for one last special size comparison, there's along with Optimus Prime, I don't have the Generation Select Super Megatron figure that is designed to stand opposite of Star Convoy. One of the reasons why I'm kind of actually disappointed with that Super Megatron figure is because it's a retool of Titan's Return Galvatron, and even though many fans and collectors have said that it's appropriate for Super Megatron to be a retool of a Galvatron figure, since that is what Super Megatron was, he was Generation 1 Galvatron brought back to life, and having realized he failed during his time as Galvatron, he took back his original identity of Megatron, but because he was twice as powerful as he was when he was Galvatron, he added the word Super in front of his name, so he became Super Megatron. That figure only comes up to the bottom of Star Convoy's chest, and in the manga that portrayed Star Convoy and Super Megatron battling each other, Super Megatron was, I believe, a slightly taller robot than Star Convoy. So I'm kind of disappointed that Super Megatron's a smaller figure than Star Convoy is. But with that said, I do have a Megatron figure in my collection that does stand just as tall as Star Convoy does. So for a size comparison with the what is the physically tallest Generation 1 looking Megatron figure I have in my Transformers collection, here is Star Convoy next to Combiner War, or his leader class Megatron. And yes, I do have the tank treads heads purposely mistransformed. I have them pointed up, which is the Armada Megatron configuration for the treads, and that's just to make Combiner War's Megatron that's just a vain attempt to make him look more like Super Megatron on the regular Generation 1 Megatron. Doesn't really work that effectively, but for what it does, as this is the only Megatron action figure that stands as tall as Star Convoy does. Started to lose my voice there for a moment. So yeah, I may now use Combiner Wars Megatron to stand opposite Star Convoy now. Now, I really hope that someday, by some miracle, we will get another Generation 1 Megatron figure that is as tall as Combiner Wars Megatron, which I believe this figure is might be 11 inches tall, maybe 11 and a half inches. But yeah, this is how tall leader class Transformers were during the Prime Wars trilogy series of Combiner Wars, Titan's Return, and Power of the Primes. And yes, that's pretty much it. So this is Star Convoy in his regular robot mode. So let's take the tractor cab robot out of the chest, and let's take a look at Star Convoy's inner robot, which is Optimus Prime. Alright, and one thing I did want to show off, before we actually show the inner cab robots themselves, if you wanted to, you can technically swap out the chest sections between both figures. So if you want, you can give Power of the Primes Optimus Prime Star Convoy's head, and you can do the reverse. You can give Star Convoy Optimus Prime's head. For some reason, it works more having the Power of the Primes Optimus Prime inner robot in Star Convoy's body much more than it does on having Star Convoy's inner robot on Optimus Prime's body. I don't know why that is, because as far as I can tell, the only retooled parts on both these figures shouldn't really affect the transformation, but I think the shape of the inner robot mode arms might be what's hindering the swap from not being 100% compatible, but I just wanted to show that off for you. Alright, and so here is the tractor cab inner robot, which is Optimus Prime, and so the idea, just like the other Power of the Primes Leader class action figures, is that this action figure shows that Star Convoy ends up evolving, or rather upgrading, into Star Convoy, so I really do enjoy the retool parts here. Similar to what we got with Power of the Primes Optimus Prime, where Orion Pax ends up upgrading into Optimus Prime, so that was a nice visual there. And if you wanted to, you could swap out the heads if you wanted and put Optimus Prime's head on the Star Convoy robot, and you could have both Orion Pax and Power of the Primes Optimus Prime as separate figures if you desired. Looking at them, the lower legs are brand new on Optimus Prime, but the toes are the same. Same thigh, same exact thighs, same exact hips. The main difference is that the pelvis on Orion Pax is done in red, and on Optimus Prime it's now silver. And no, those headlights are not new sculpting, it's just paint, so the pelvis is the same on both these guys. The hands are the same, but on Orion Pax it's a slightly darker, more metallic blue, whereas here on Optimus Prime it's a brighter matte blue, if I'm pronouncing that word correctly. And then the backpacks are pretty much the same. The main difference is the lower arms are sculpted differently. The elbow joints are the same, and then the shoulders are different. The robot mode chest and heads are of course different, but the backpacks themselves are the same. And opening them up, we could have technically waited until we got into truck mode to show this, but I wanted to show this off now. Now I apologize for not showing this off when I had these in the larger robot modes, but the chests sometimes get stuck, and I didn't want to break the plastic. But opening up the backpacks, here are the different versions of the Matrix of Leadership. On Power of the Primes Orion Pax, the Matrix of Leadership is gray, orange, and blue, like it is in the Transformers Generation 1 movie. On Star Convoy, the Matrix is entirely silver chrome. It's a very bright, shiny silver chrome. And no, unlike the Power of the Primes action figures, where you could remove the inner part of the Matrix of Leadership, which is orange and blue, and swap it out with a Prime Master, you cannot do that with Star Convoy's Matrix because it's just one sculpted part. You could swap out the different versions of the Matrix of Leadership if you desired, but you cannot put a the only way you can put a Prime Master inside a Generation Select Star Convoy Optimus Prime is if you take the Matrix out of Power of the Primes Orion Pax and then put a Prime Master into that. But yeah, I won't go into articulation on these guys since it's the same. One last thing that I will point out, which technically we could show off in truck mode, is the wheels are the exact same. And on the Power of the Primes Orion Pax, the wheels were originally unpainted black plastic. I painted the wheels on my copy of Power of the Primes Optimus Prime because I hated having unpainted black wheels on my Transformers action figures at the time in 2018. And so that was one of the reasons why originally when Star Convoy was released, I think he might have been released in 2019. I should have checked on the Transformers Wikipedia before I started recording the review to see when Star Convoy was released. But that's one of the reasons I wanted to get this figure, was because the wheels are actually in fact painted silver, so Star Convoy has actual hubcaps and tires on his wheels. But yeah, the inner Optimus Prime robot, it came out pretty good. One thing that I like about the head sculpt is that the eyes are painted yellow instead of blue. I know that painting Optimus Prime's eyes a bright blue matches up with his animation model from the G1 cartoon that was made by Sunbow Productions, but I've always enjoyed yellow-eyed Optimus Prime because it makes his eyes stand out more. There's been a handful of Optimus Prime action figures released in recent years that have had blue eyes, and the blue eyes are almost the shade of blue plastic used on the eyes is almost the same shade of blue as Optimus Prime's helmet. So it almost looks like Optimus Prime doesn't have any eyes at all, with his eyes matching the same color as his head. So yeah, I actually prefer Optimus Prime having yellow eyes instead of blue, since it makes it stand out. And just for one last size comparison, here's the Optimus Prime inner robot once again with Combiner Wars Megatron. And even though this figure is 2.5 times larger, I've always liked the idea of Megatron being much larger than Optimus Prime, because you basically, having Megatron be twice the height of Optimus Prime, you basically have a David versus Goliath scenario, and I've always liked that idea. Yeah, there. So without further delay, let's get this figure transformed into alternate mode, and let's wrap up the review. Alright, and so here is Star Convoy transformed into his alt mode, and for what it is, being a retool of Power the Primes Optimus Prime, it does a fairly good job. Rolls fairly well. I believe just like the Optimus Prime action figure, the arms of the inner robot, they're supposed to stand up here and give this a more boxy shaped cab, but in my opinion, having the arms down, it ever so slightly makes the figure more of a robot in disguise. Nice, but yeah, that's pretty much it. The newly sculpted parts, they did make transforming the arms a little more difficult, with the shoulder cannons and the gold chest crest being in the way. But yeah, overall it is a nice looking tractor cab. And for a size comparison with Power of the Primes Optimus Prime, because Optimus Prime has the stickers mimicking the stripes on his Generation 1 action figure, he does look a little more detailed on here. But having an unpainted gray trailer here on Star Convoy, that does match up with his Generation 1 action figure, because the trailer, the parts that were gray weren't really painted that well. Also, even though he has less paint apps in truck mode, it is a more it is accurate to Generation 1 Star Convoy. And one thing I do like is that the smokestacks here are painted silver on him. They're unpainted red plastic on Optimus Prime. And just for one last size comparison, because he's already appeared in the video, here is a Star Convoy next to Combiner Wars Megatron. So Super Megatron did have a Cybertronian spaceship for vehicle mode instead of a tank, but again, there isn't really a action figure Megatron that exists that, in my opinion, that's large enough to rival Star Convoy, that Envoy in size, apart from Combined Wars. So, putting the trailer down for a side. Putting the trailers down. Now, and actually, no, let's put the cab robots down. So here's a close-up of the two trailers. So again, there they are, compared to each other. And yeah, there's in trailer mode, the trailers, paint apps, and stickers, or lack thereof, are the main differences between those. Surprisingly, for the tractor cabs themselves, the fronts are identical. The Star Convoy, his windows are made out of crystal clear plastic, while there's a bluish tint on Power of the Primes Optimus Prime's cab. Pretty much the main difference is the trailer hitch section on the back of the tractor cab. That's what's newly sculpted, and also the area with the robot mode arms makes the back of the truck look slightly different. But the wheels are the same sculpted gas cans, windshields, and front grille. But it is nice seeing them together. The main gripe I have with this action figure is that Optimus Prime, his two ears rest in two slots. It's there inside the truck bed, and so if you move this figure around too much, or if you sway it around too much, there is a risk of Optimus Prime's ears breaking off, which is a shame, because the head of the inner robot mode, it not only has the actual trailer hitch sculpted on the back of it, but I don't think there's any other action figure that has that head sculpt on it. So if it breaks, you're in for trouble. But hopefully that won't happen. So yeah, here is one last look at Transformers Generations X Star Convoy in his alt mode. Oh, it is a pretty length compared to how Transformers action figures have been downsized. It is a pretty lengthy semi-truck due to how far back the trailer hitch is on the actual tractor cab. I want to say it's the lengthwise. The length might be similar to Legacy Year 1 Motormaster, but it is definitely much larger than the Earthrise and Kingdom Optimus Prime action figure that was released. So for my final thoughts, do I recommend getting Generation X Star Convoy and adding him to your Transformers collection? Well, here's the thing. I only recommend you get Star Convoy and you add this figure to your collection if you're a Optimus Prime fan like I am, and if you are aware of who Star Convoy is, then I recommend you get this figure. But if you aren't aware with Star Convoy, the story of how Optimus Prime came back to life one last time, I am in Japanese continuity, then this figure can be an easy pass, especially if you have the 2018 Power of the Primes Optimus Prime action figure, because aesthetically, what Star Convoy has going for, or at most, is that the inner tractor cab robot is Optimus Prime. I am in that it just upgrades into Star Convoy. Oh, yeah, but that's pretty much it. The main reason I got Star Convoy was because I missed my first opportunity at getting the Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime, but I'm hoping in the coming weeks that Gamer Edition Optimus Prime, in addition to having appeared at GameStop stores, that it will also appear at Target stores. Thank you guys all so much. This has been the Tia Fan Geek. More reviews are coming, and thank you guys all so much, and until next time, you guys, stay safe, stay healthy, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.